The design revolution that happened in the 1950s and 1960s with clean lines and a contemporary aesthetic were revolutionary and changed interior design forever into a style that's now called mid-century.
And over 60 years later, the innovations of that era are still inspiring modern design today.
So Kelli, we're here in historic Old Las Palmas neighborhood, but not quite your typical mid-century, is it?
No, I am extremely thrown off by the statuary and the columns.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
let's play a little guessing game.
Okay.
What celebrity lived here in the 1960s?
Well, I'm gonna guess it has something to do with music. We got notes all over the gates
You're
here.
getting warmer. You're getting warmer.
And I think I'm gonna think of somebody who would have columns and statuary. I mean, maybe a little, I'm guessing.
You got it. This is
Okay.
the house of none other than Liberace,
it.
best piano player in the world, quite the flamboyant showman.
Right.
He bought this house in the 60s, added on to it. It went through a modern update a few years ago, but of course the owners had to keep some of the Liberace bling
I
inside.
hope they did. Gotta show
They
me.
even kept the music note gate, so let's
Wow.
walk through and see what's inside.
I cannot believe we're in Liberace's home.
Liberace's living room. Can you imagine
What?
the cocktail parties that happened here?
I can hear
the
them.
pool parties.
Yes.
If only.
If only.
But-
So Palm Springs.
But we're here now.
Gorgeous.
And how amazing is this?
I love this. Again, that large entertainment space, really important.
Yes, and actually he had to create the space. This was a 1940s house, pre-mid-century, and this was the patio. And Liberace reimagined it and closed it, gave it a high ceiling to create that big 1950s entertaining space.
Of course he did.
Absolutely, he had some
Over the top.
imagination, that one.
Yes. And speaking of, I completely recognize these chairs.
They are my collection.
Love them.
I thought you might recognize them.
Tell me about them.
I was inspired by the mid-century. So back then, the designers were playing with new materials, right?
Right.
Fiberglass, plastic, and even wood, a classic material.
Yeah.
They were using new technology to bend the wood.
Like games.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Charles and Ray Eames were experimenting with plywood and bend wood because wood is naturally a hard material.
Right.
And molding it like this is not easy.
And then all of a sudden, Eames took that and went, let's reimagine everything. So
Yeah.
you've got your classic,
Right.
everybody knows that desk chair and the ottoman.
Yes.
Beautiful molded plywood.
Exactly.
Not easy to do.
So I was inspired by the mid-century and Eames.
Oh.
And I'm really proud of him. Actually named for my dad, Robert, because he loved classic cars.
Love that.
So it's the Roadster style, named for Robert.
Love that. And this is so great. This is reminiscent of showing how we can use that style today.
Yes.
Because it's so simple. I love the lines.
Yes.
They're beautiful, easy. A really nice nod to Eames and
Thank
the 50s and making it modern. It's just got a little bit of that modern with a little sassy mid-century spice.
Just like me.
Of course. Wow, sums you right up. I love this piece.
I mean, this is a classic piece. You have to have this in Palm Springs.
Love it.
Screams mid-century.
Vintage.
Vintage.
Yes.
It's refinished.
Gorgeous.
But still vintage. And this piece is still inspiring furniture today. And we're seeing this pattern, this geometry, which of course I love because I went to school for
Yeah.
architecture, as
Right,
you know. So I've
right.
been drawing squares since I was a kid.
Same. This is one of those classic pieces where you see it move through the decades.
Yes.
And it looks exactly the same and we can use it today.
We're seeing this in different woods, in furniture now.
Beautiful.
You know, put it in a light finish, a gray finish.
Right?
People say all the time, what is so alluring about mid-century modern? Because it still works today. There
Yes.
are very few styles that you could set into a modern home
Right.
and walk away and not have to explain yourself every time somebody saw it
Yes.
to say, oh, it's an heirloom or it's grandma's.
Feels fresh and current
Yes.
now, here in Liberace's house
Yes.
in 2018. The sunburst mirror.
Right?
We can't get away from it.
No, it could be in any finish and work in any home.
Yeah, and it works with different metals.
Right?
How many times do you ask by clients and
1,000
social
times.
media,
And what's the answer?
yes, America, you can mix metals.
Yeah.
Listen to Christopher and Kelli. It is okay. We give you permission.
Yes.
You can mix a new mirror
Yes.
with a vintage lamp.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Uh-huh.
And it works beautifully.
It does. This looks awesome. So does that space.
I think the bar is calling.
I know, it's calling. Well, this is certainly the best spot in the whole house.
Liberace's bar, he installed this in the house.
No way. Let me just take this in. How incredible.
He was obviously a great entertainer, as lots of people were in the mid-century. I think America's kind of going home again. They're enjoying your living rooms, living in your living rooms, the way Liberace did in this beautiful space.
Well, that's very novel considering we call it a living room, but what a beautiful spot. Most people do like to have some entertainment.
Yes.
If they do enjoy a cocktail, they want to have a place where people can sit, relax. Again, makes sense to have something that's a little more oversized, right? So that you're comfortable, but still speaking back to a time when entertainment was really sexy.
Yes.
And these chairs are perfect.
They're very mid-century, right?
I love them. The vinyl is what really takes me back to mid-century because most people kind of cringe when they think, oh my gosh, vinyl. But look how stylish the vinyl looks on these lines and this classic look. So it's so funny how people freak out. They're like, vinyl, it looks awful.
My clients do.
Right, but it looks so beautiful here.
Right.
This is a great application.
Right.
It's so iconic, but really, really like useful, you know?
It is.
You're not gonna ruin it.
And it kind of goes back to the 50s diner. Maybe that's why people actually don't want the vinyl. But this one looks like Silk Dupioni.
But it also has these curved lines, the nail heads.
Yes.
Classic look. I actually have these in my own home.
Right, it goes back to a 1960s design.
Yeah. Oh, it's so classic. It's perfect. Another example of how it really hasn't changed, but stands the test of time.
Yes.
Right?
Cheers to standing the test of time.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I see a couple empty glasses. I'm pretty sure we should fill them. Liberace would want us to.
He would want us to enjoy.
I think so.
As Liberace said,
Yes.
too much of a good thing is wonderful.
I love that. Cheers.
Cheers to mid-century.
Cheers to modern. We're having a drink in Liberace's bar.
We are, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I get it.
And I know you think it can't get any better.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that.
There's more of this house to show.
All right, let me just hang out here for a minute.
All right.
Take it all in.